Hi everyone, welcome to the Dataholics YouTube channel. And in this video, we are going to cover the concept of views in SQL, right? So this is the official documentation of views from Microsoft SQL Server. So if you read the definition, a view is nothing but a virtual table whose contents are defined by a query. Basically, we write a SQL query in which we can use joins or any type of SQL query as simple as possible or as complex as possible, and then it into a view, right? Like a table, the view consists of a set of named columns and the rows of the data, right? Okay, so you can also get a very simple definition of views from this W3 schools. Official documentations are always better, right? But if you want a very simple, clear definition, so a view is like a virtual table based on the result set of an SQL statement, right? A view contains rows and columns just like a real table. It is not actually a real table. It's a kind of virtual table, but it looks like a real table. The fields in the view are the fields from one or more tables based on the SQL query, right? So I have put all these definition here in my SQL Server. Let's do some practical and understand the theory as well as the practicals of the views in SQL. So views are database objects. Database object, by that I mean is when you go to your databases in SQL Server, you expand your database. Let's say I am currently working in practice database. So when I expand this, I can see tables and views. So it's an object from the database itself. When I expand to the view, I can see what views are created in my system. Like there are currently 3 views in this particular database, right? So it is created over a SQL query. It does not store the data like a real table, but every time we call a view, every time we execute that, it executes the background SQL query on which the view was created. And it returns the refreshed data, updated data, the current data, the latest data, right? It is like a virtual table. The fields in a view can be from one or multiple tables. We can use the concept of joins also to create a view, right? We can also create a view using the create view statement and delete a view using the drop view statement, right? We can also update a view using create or replace a view statements. For example, if a view already exists in the database, so we can write a query like create or replace. So if that view does not exist by that name, it will create it, or if it already exists, it will replace the view, right? So let us do some hands-on and understand the concept very better. So let's say I'm going to use my practice database. So I say use practice, the database name, select a star from healthcare data. So this is my table in which we have name, age, gender, blood type. So it's a kind of healthcare data. You can see all the columns right here, right? Then let's say I want to create a view of where I want to select the patients whose age is above 45 and the blood type is O negative, right? So what the query will be very simple. Select all the columns from the table name where condition age is greater than equal to 45 and the blood type is O negative. Let's say this is my simple SQL query. Now, why do I put it into a view? There are a few benefits of views also, which we will discover just after this. But to create the view, we will write a query very simple, create or alter. Create or alter view. The view name, let's say sample view. As inside a bracket, we will write the SQL query. Now, this query can be as simple as possible, as complex as possible. No issues at all, right? So this is how do we create a view. If I execute this much query, you say command completed successfully. Now, if I refresh the database here, practice database, and then expand it, go to the views section, you see we will have another view called sample view right here, right? So previously we had only 3 views, medical, patient name, and sample view name. Now we have one more view called sample view. If you expand it more, you can also see the columns in that particular view. These are all the columns present in that view, right? It is not a table. If you find it inside the table section, you will not get it. It will be present inside the view section, right? Then this view will be stored in that database. Now, if I want to view the data, if any user or we want to view the data, we can just write a simple query, select all the columns from table name, sample view, right? So this will show me the data present in that table. If I execute this query, you will see that we have all the patients with age greater than or equal to 45 and blood type O negative, correct? So this is the output of the view. This is how do we create a view and execute to see the view, right? Now, when I execute this line, what happens in the background? It will run this query again. It will create the view and it will give the refreshed data. right? That is the advantage of using a view. We will always get the latest data. Similarly, if you want to create another view, you can create it like this, and then we view the data. Now, view is always refreshed whenever we run it. Whenever we call the view, whenever we execute that query to see the data from the view, it always gives us the latest, refreshed, updated data, right? So that is a benefit of the view. And then if you want to delete the view, you can simply write the statement drop view, the view name. The view will be deleted from the database. Now, after creating the view, we can also update the views, but there are a few rules. There are a few regulations when we can update a view or when we cannot update a view. So you just give it a quick read. I will forward this notes in the description of this video as a document, maybe Word document. So you can just give it a quick read and understand when do we update a view and when we cannot update a view, right? So these are all the different conditions. Now let us also understand the use case of view. Why do actually we use views, right? There are a few major benefits. First is restricting data access. Okay, so see, for example, if I create a view by the name sample view, if I share that view name with you, you can just write a simple query, select all the columns or whatever you need from that view name. Means you are, the data is restricted from you. If I don't want to show the data, if the data is confidential enough, I do not want to share it with everyone. So I can just share the view name so that they do not know about the background tables, about the complexity of SQL queries, right? About the complexity of SQL queries. They cannot they do not have to worry about the technical aspects of creating that view. As a management person or like a senior management, you can just write a simple SQL query, select star from view name, and you will get the data. No matter how complex SQL query was used in the background, right? So it hides the data complexity, simplify the commands for the user, right? It's very easier for any non-technical person to use it who does not even know SQL. So it stores complex SQL queries. We can also rename columns inside a view and multiple view facility, right? So after creating a view, I can give desired access to the different users in the organization according to the capability of sharing the data. So that these are the few benefits of using creating a view, right? But there is a simple challenge when we create a view. Very simple challenge is that, so let's say the SQL query behind the view is very complex. It is taking some time to execute, maybe some minutes or some more time, right? So what happens is whenever we run the view, in the background, it will execute the query and then give me the output. So it will take a lot of time for me to view the data, right? Because it is going to give the refreshed data, latest updated data. So it will run the whole query again, take as much time, and then give the data. That can be sometimes challenging. So to overcome that challenge, we can create materialized view in SQL. Materialized view. So it has a benefit that it will store the data in itself. There is a difference between views and materialized views. Materialized views store the query as well as the data inside it. But then there will be a challenge again with materialized view. Think about it yourself, that if it stores the data also, it will not be able to give us the latest refreshed data. That can be one of the potential challenges with materialized view, right? So I hope you got the concept about views and materialized views in SQL. How do we create it? How the use cases of view, and how do we use it? How do we update it? How do we delete it? And all of those things, right? So if you have any other questions related to views in SQL, please put down into the comment section. Or if you want me or us to cover any other topic in SQL, please let us know in the comment section. We will definitely try to come up with a video related to that topic. Thank you so much for watching this video till the end. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel so that and like this video so that we can reach to more and more people who are